Hi everyone, welcome. Good to see you. Happy Monday. Just wait for everyone to get in, get connected to audio and get settled. Cool. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, first of all, and also for giving yourself this time. I know at the moment, sometimes self-care can feel like it's right at the bottom of our to-do lists, but more important than ever that we're all looking after ourselves at the moment. So all you'll need for our session this evening, guys, is just something to write on and with for just a short reflective practice we'll do. And then the rest of the session is going to be very practical. So doing the practices on yourself, with yourself, to help to soothe the nervous system and help you feel hopefully a little bit calmer, better, more centered by the end of our time together. Firstly, can I just check that the level of this music feels okay for everyone? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up. Cool, awesome. Good to know. Thanks, guys. Just gonna switch the waiting room off. There we go. Hi, guys who have just joined. Great to see some familiar names I know, some new faces that I haven't met yet. Firstly, welcome to everybody. And thank you for joining me this evening. For those of you that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, my name is Liz Joy Oakley. I run the More Mind and Wellness program at More Yoga, and I also work as a yoga therapist for anxiety and stress. I suffer with anxiety myself, so it's something very important to me to help other people manage. And I also am a yoga and meditation teacher. So some of the tools that we'll be working through this evening together that will practically practice on the body are tools that I've used throughout my own journey and also tools that I teach people. And for our session tonight, I've kind of handpicked the ones that I think have been the most useful throughout lockdown. And hopefully these will be really useful for you to take away as well and to practice throughout the next few weeks. So let's begin by just arriving together today from whatever you've been doing throughout the day, hopping anything to the side that you're holding on to, just coming to a comfortable seat wherever you are. You could be on your bed, your couch, a rug, a yoga mat, whatever's comfortable for you this evening. You don't need any special props or tools, just an open mind, maybe an open heart. When you're ready in your own time, just beginning to close the eyes as we begin to just arrive mentally in this practice together. Eyes closed, feeling into the body fat. Just noticing how you're sitting. Can you relax the shoulders down and away from the ears? Can you lengthen up a little bit taller through the crown of the head? Taking a few deep breaths together. Breathing into the nose. Opening the mouth, sighing out. Breathing into the nose. Opening the mouth, exhaling. And taking one more deep breath in. One more long breath out. With your eyes closed, just take a moment to firstly check in with how you're feeling today. Maybe you've rushed here after work and you need to just take a moment to wind down. Maybe you've had a slow day and you need to re-energize. Checking in with whatever's going on for you tonight. giving yourself the opportunity, permission to be present, to drop in, to switch off from anything else, to dedicate time to self-care tonight. Taking your breath, breathing in, and breathing. Slowly, just blinking your eyes open when you're ready. Taking your writing material, whatever you're writing, and also always use pen and paper, whatever works for you this evening. I'm going to start with just a short reflective practice before we move into some physical practices. And this reflective practice is really to give you an opportunity to just reflect on how you're practicing self-care and what you'd like to prioritize. Self-care has become a little bit of a buzzword in the wellness industry. And I talk a lot with friends and clients around what self-care actually means, because really the definition is up to us. How I practice self-care, how I define it, what I find soothing, nurturing, would be completely different perhaps from what you find soothing, calming, and nurturing. They may be the same. There might be a similar thread through what we practice this evening, tools available. But really, self-care can be anything. It helps you to feel like yourself, fill yourself up, to help you to relax and to become present. So for our first reflective, I'd like you to take just a few minutes to consider what self-care means to you. Okay, my loves, I'm going to stop the music. That happened to me earlier as well. I think it's a connection problem. Is that better without music? Yeah, cool. Lots of nods. Okay. I'll send you the soundtrack in case. Just in case anyone wants to play it separately. Okay, so for the first section, I'm just going to pop my playlist in the chat. Da, da, da. There we go. Beautiful. Cool. Thank you for letting me know, lovelies. So first question, reflecting on how you define self-care. So thinking about what self-care means to you, how you practiced it in the past, maybe how you're practicing it now, some words, maybe sentences that you associate with self-care. And try not to give it too much, deep thought, just jotting down whatever comes to mind now. If someone said to you, you don't have to do anything all day tomorrow, I'm giving you the whole day off, but I want you to practice self-care all day, and I want a report of how you practiced it. Think about what you would write down on that report. If someone gave you full permission to create an entire schedule of self-care, doing whatever you wanted for however long. We'll take a couple of minutes on this first reflection. So making a list or just jotting down what you would define self-care to be if someone gave you total free reign for an entire day. And there are no right or wrong answers. It's not a quiz, I promise. Just an opportunity to reflect and to connect. We'll spend a couple more minutes here just wrapping up on this list or this definition of what self-care means for you. Remembering there are no right or wrongs. So when you're ready, you can see lots of busy writing going on still, which is great. No rush at all. But when you feel ready, you'll come on to the second reflection, which is just to consider how much time you currently spend or how much time you dedicate to these practices. So maybe just glancing over that list that you've written down there, remembering this is not an invitation to punish yourself, but just an invitation to reflect, just to mindfully notice how much time you're spending on self-care, on self-nourishment, on those activities that help you to feel like yourself, to feel nurtured and nourished. Okay, I'll spend another moment or two here. And just reflecting. Reflecting can be a really powerful practice. And when you're ready, final reflection. What would you like to be doing more of? Really simple. Don't worry about the past. It doesn't matter. Thinking about moving forwards. What would you like to make more time for? What would you like to prioritize? Looking over that first list of the things that you define as your personal self-care activities or hobbies or practices. I'm just noting down now which of those you would like to make more space for. Okay. Beautiful. Lovely work, everyone. Finally, in your own time, again, no rush at all. There's an invitation here to create a goal or an intention, whichever resonates best with you. An intention around inviting and creating more space for self-care. So what intention or goal can you take away from those 3 simple reflective questions? And it might be something practical, dedicating a set evening a week or a time over the weekend for self-care. I actually put it in my diary because I'm really terrible at prioritizing my own self-care. I love telling other people to, but I actually put it in my diary. I've done it for years, self-care time. And I have it as a yellow color code for health and self-care. And if I look over my week and it's empty, there's no yellow, I know I need to put some in to look after my well-being. So I've got really used to that habit of actually scheduling in you time. And I see it as a non-negotiable meeting, so an appointment with myself, because I know how important it is to stay healthy mentally and physically. So that could be a really easy, simple, practical solution to start actually scheduling in self-care time with yourself, prioritizing it, putting it at the top of your to-do list tends to be right down at the bottom. And it could be as simple as 15 minutes a day, dedicating time when you wake up or time before you go to sleep to a particular practice, maybe a hobby, maybe one of the tools that we're going to go through later on in our session this evening. It might be reconnecting with a hobby that perhaps you've fallen out of love with and would like to rekindle that relationship. For me, it's always been painting. And maybe for you, it's something completely different. Something unique that helps you to feel better. So just taking the next moment to set a really clear goal, intention, to take into the rest of the week even. No time like the present. Thinking about how you can practice and prioritize more self-care. Something to consider with these goals and intentions is to remember to be kind to yourself. Remember in lockdown last year when everyone was like learning a language, becoming a chef, taking up jiu-jitsu, and just really over promising, which I think many of us did. And this should be something that you look forward to. So it doesn't need to be that I'm going to spend every weekend, learning a new language. Maybe it's just 10 minutes in the morning, something that's really realistic for your schedule, for your energy levels at the moment, something that you'll look forward to rather than become, another chore or another exercise that you don't look forward to. And when you're ready, again, no rush, finish off whatever you're writing. And in your own time, just popping your writing materials over to one side. Cool. And coming to a comfortable seat. Having a little shuffle, making any little movements you need to make, maybe a little roll of the shoulders, maybe a stretch over to both sides, just to bring a little bit of movement into the body. Good. And we're going to practice a few of the key tools that I teach, that I use, that I swear by for reducing stress and anxiety in the body, physiologically, and in the mind, mentally as well. These are all tools that really help to soothe and regulate the nervous system, which is something I think we all need to learn to do in the high pressure, high stress society that we now live in. These are really simple tools that you could do every single day. Each one of them I've chosen tonight You can, cherry pick the ones you enjoy the most, try them for 5-10 minutes over the next week, see how you feel. They're also really powerful in strengthening the nervous system. And the nervous system is what helps us move into that rest and digest, relaxation mode and out of that fight, flight, freeze, stress, threat, active mode. So we really want to be able to regulate the nervous system and take us into that more relaxed, more soothing state, especially in times of overwhelming stress or high pressure, high anxiety. So we'll begin with a breathing practice, and this is a really simple breath to do. I also love this breath because it brings the hands onto the body, and when we're in that frame of mind, when the mind is racing, when the thoughts are really busy, it can actually really help to bring the hands onto the body, to bring awareness into the system, and to change the mind from those ruminating thoughts into the present. So we're going to start by just bringing the hands onto the ribs and wrapping the hands around the rib cage. So like another pair of cages around your rib cage. Lengthening up tall through the crown. Relaxing the shoulders as much as you can. Good. And just closing the eyes down. And we're going to start by just noticing where the breath is sitting in the body. Hopefully this evening, after a little bit of breath work to start, the breath is slow and steady rather than fast and pacey, which it normally is when we're stressed or anxious. But just noticing how the breath is behaving in the body. It tends to be a good sign to signal to whether we're relaxed or whether we're stressed. Notice if you can feel the ribs gently moving, gently rising and falling as you breathe. Beginning to deepen the breath, breathing into the nose and breathing out through the nose. Breathing into the nose and breathing out through the nose. Just seeing if as you breathe, as we get into this gentle ebb and flow with the breath, you can find a gentle rise and fall with the hands. As you inhale, feeling the ribs press into the palms. And as you exhale, feeling the palms gently soften inwards. Inhaling, feeling the body expand. Exhaling, feeling it empty. Good. Last few breaths. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Good. One more with the hands on the ribs. One more out. Keep the eyes closed, but float the hands down to the lower belly. And we're just going to bring the hands beneath the navel, thumbs resting at the belly button, at the navel, fingers pointing down towards the ground. Eyes closed, body relaxed. Doing the same thing as we did with the ribs, but breathing deeply down into the lower belly now. And one thing we're really conditioned to do in society is to tense the abdomen. We're always told to pull it in. I give you full permission now to relax, to let your belly really soften and expand as we breathe down into it. Seeing if you can find that gentle ebb and flow again, that gentle back and forth. As you breathe down into the lower belly, feel the palms rising as the belly expands. As you exhale, feel the belly retract and soften. Good. Just taking a moment or two to find that gentle rhythm with your breath. No special breath work, just a gentle inhale and exhale through the nose. Sending each breath down to the lower belly, letting it fill and letting it empty as you exhale. Beautiful. The style of diaphragmatic breathing, we often call it deep belly breathing, or Buddha breathing, it's sometimes called as well. This style of breath signals to the nervous system that it's okay to calm down. This style of deep, focused breath gives a signal from the brain through the vagus nerve to the nervous system that we are not in threat. We don't need to be switched on. That stress response can turn on. We're going to take 5 last deep breaths. Breathing down to the lower belly. And breathe out through the nose. Breathe down into the lower belly. Breathing out through the nose. Last 3 breaths, just in your own time, at your own pace. And when you're ready, just releasing that breath. Keeping the eyes closed, keeping the body relaxed, and just returning to a comfortable, natural breath in and out of the nose. And take a moment to just notice, just observe any subtle differences you might feel now in the body, physiologically, or in the mind. And when you're ready, take a deep, full breath in. And a deep, full breath out. Good. Blink the eyes, just slowly open when you're ready. Bring the arms alongside you. Inhale to reach the arms up. We're just going to take a stretch over to the left to bring a little bit of movement into the body. Stretch over to the right. Nice. And then back to center. Bring the hands down. I'm going to float the hands just onto the knees, palms facing up in acceptance. We're going to move into a mindfulness practice. And I love this practice so much. It's really, really simple. I was taught this practice, I think on my teacher training, 7 years ago now, and I still use it all the time. And I still hear my teacher's voice like ringing in my ears. And it's a really simple practice and easy to remember as well. It's called the stop technique. And each of the letters represents part of the technique. So the idea is anytime you feel stressed or anxious, overwhelmed, ruminating thoughts, if the body's feeling very tense, if you're feeling panicky, overwhelmed, we all know that experience of emotions when you don't know what to do, you feel very, very worked up, you stop, pause, stop whatever you're doing, put it down, take a moment to yourself, stop. Take 5 deep breaths, breathing down into the belly, deep diaphragmatic breaths. We then observe. Observe what's going on. Take a moment to mindfully connect. We then proceed with an intention. We're going to practice that together today, right now. So come to a comfortable seat again. Maybe moving up your position if anything's going to sleep. And just bringing the hands onto the knees, palms facing up, closing the eyes down. Taking a moment to simply stop. Clearing the mind. Putting any mental clutter, any to-do lists, any worries to one side. And giving yourself an opportunity to simply stop, to pause. Take 5 deep belly breaths. Breathing into the nose, sending that breath down to the lower belly, and breathing out through the nose. Breathing into the nose, sending that breath a little bit deeper still. Exhaling out through the nose. Good. Inhaling, filling the lower lungs, so deep, deep breaths. Exhaling out. Breathing in. Exhaling. And taking your last final inhale, deepest breath of the day that you've taken so far. Exhaling out through the nose. When you feel ready, beginning to observe, beginning to almost become a watcher, a voyeur of what's going on, what's triggering this response. How are you feeling physically at the moment? How's the body? Is it tense? Is it tight? Are you in pain anywhere? Bringing awareness into your physical experience. Secondly, observing what's going on for you mentally in this moment. Notice how the mind is. Often when we're stressed or anxious, the mind can feel overwhelming, out of our control. Just noticing that without judgment, just observing how your thoughts are behaving. Are there any patterns in those ruminations? Could it be that your inner critic is taking center stage? And finally, thirdly, observing what's going on for you emotionally in this experience, in this moment. Notice if you're feeling drained, exhausted, maybe fragile. Maybe you're feeling angry, frustrated. And just noticing, observing what's taking place physically, mentally, and emotionally. And when you're ready, setting an intention to take away from this simple pause, this opportunity to stop, to collect your thoughts, and to reconnect to an intention that will support you. And when you're ready, slowly blinking the eyes open and preparing to proceed with intention. I can't tell you how many times that technique has saved me when I felt really hot-headed or really emotional from perhaps saying things that I might have regretted, and also given me the opportunity to just stop and notice what's going on. Often when we're stressed or very anxious about things, it's because some of our boundaries have been triggered. So something might have pushed us to have that emotional response. And often it can also be felt physiologically, that fast beating heart, clammy hands, tense body. And by actually giving ourselves the opportunity to stop, to pause, to breathe, to calm the body, to soothe the nervous system, and to actually observe what's going on for us and maybe why we're feeling that way, it can really help to put things into perspective and maybe realign the mindset that we're approaching it from too. We're going to come and lay flat for the next practice. So you can do it sitting as well if that's preferred, if that's more comfortable for you. But if you would like, if you're comfortable, and if you have a space to lay down on at the moment, just come to lay on your back. And we'll bring the soles of the feet together and come into a butterfly pose. So soles of the feet together, laying flat. Bringing the right hand onto the lower belly and the left hand onto the heart. If you're sitting up, same option. Just crossing the legs, right hand onto the lower belly, left hand onto the heart. So whatever feels right. Either laying flat or just sitting up, right hand on the lower belly, left hand resting at the heart. Closing the eyes down. Beautiful, everyone. We're going to practice one more breathing technique. This is another firm favorite of mine. This practice is called a 3-part breath. A 3-part breath is a really soothing breath when we're feeling stressed and a great breath for self-care. This can be a really wonderful breath to do in the mornings or before you go to bed to help to relax the nervous system, to clear the mind, and to help strengthen the functioning of the autonomic nervous system. So lots of really powerful benefits to this breath if you do it 5-10 minutes each day. And we'll start by just breathing again down into your lower belly. So coming back to that diaphragmatic, slow, steady, deep belly breath. Breathing down into the right palm, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Feeling the belly rise again as you inhale. And feeling the belly fall away as you exhale. Good. Connecting again with that gentle rise and fall, that back and forth, that ebb and flow of breath. We're going to add another step into our breath to make it a 3-part breath. On your next inhale, breathe down into the lower belly. Take another inhale and send it up into the chest. Continue to exhale through the nose. Inhaling down into the right palm. Inhaling again up into the left. And exhaling out through the nose. Good. Inhaling lower belly. Inhaling up into the chest. And exhaling out through the nose. Beautiful. Continue to breathe in 3 parts, but see if you can smooth that breath down. So rather than 3 separate components, the breath becomes one smooth, flowing breath, almost like you're drawing the sign of infinity, a gentle curved kind of figure of 8 shape. Breathing down into the lower belly, up into the heart, out through the nose. Inhaling down into the abdomen, taking it up into the chest and out through the nose. Good. Slowing it down, finding a flowing, gentle pace down into your belly, up into the heart, using the full capacity of that deep inhale and then exhaling out through the nose. This is a really luxurious breath, as it really helps us to use the full capacity of the lungs. Imagining that you're filling the whole body up as you inhale. And as you exhale, letting the whole body empty. We'll take 3 more rounds, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing down to your lower belly, letting it round and fill. Up into the chest, letting the heart expand. Out through the nose. Last time, breathing in and breathing out. Coming back to a comfortable, gentle breath. And if you're laying flat, you might like to just extend the legs out long, coming into Shavasana. If you're sitting upright, you might like to just have a little move or a little wriggle to get comfortable. I'm going to finish with a body scan practice this evening, which is another mindfulness tool, mindfulness meditation that helps us to bring focus into the body, mindfully move our awareness down, starting at the crown of the head, moving to the soles of the feet, and consciously relaxing every single part of us. This is a tool I like to use a lot if I ever have trouble sleeping, or with clients who maybe suffer with poor sleep, poor quality of sleep. I've also been suggesting to people to break up their working day, where many of us are working from home at the moment. This can be a really nice tool to actually differentiate between work and relaxation time or personal time, as it helps to really soothe the nervous system. So you could try this when you're finishing work, when you're ready to put everything down and sign off. Give yourself 5-10 minutes to just practice a body scan on yourself. See how that transforms your mental clarity and helps to relax your body. So eyes closed, taking a few deep breaths. And starting to just connect to your inner world. This inner personal space that is always available to each and every one of us whenever we need it. Starting to just relax the expression on the face, softening at the brow, softening at the jaw. You might like to bring a small gap between your top and bottom teeth. Scanning down to the shoulders. Just inviting the shoulders to relax, to feel heavy, to melt down into the earth beneath you. Scanning down from the tips of the shoulders, traveling down to the tips of the fingers. Inviting the arms to feel heavy, to feel held and supported by the earth below you. Bringing your focus to the center of the chest as you begin to Just mindfully, slowly travel down to the lower belly again. Inviting the front of the body to come to stillness. And allowing just the lower abdomen to continue to rise and fall as you breathe in and as you exhale. Moving your focus to the top of the neck as we begin to slowly travel down the back of the body now. Letting the upper back relax and soften. Letting the middle back release. And letting the lower back completely relax down into the ground. Giving yourself permission to put down anything that's heavily weighing on your shoulders this evening. Any tension, any stress. Allowing it to melt off the bones. Beginning to scan down from the hips to the knees. Relaxing the upper legs. From the knees down to the ankles. Relaxing the lower legs. And finally, just inviting the feet to gently fall open as your whole body sinks into a welcome stillness. And for the next few moments, enjoying this opportunity to simply pause, to slow down, and to allow yourself to rest. If you notice your mind wandering or any intrusive thoughts coming in, try repeating the word let every time you inhale and the word go every time you exhale. Letting go completely. Slowly beginning to just bring movement into your fingers and into your toes. If you're laying flat, slowly beginning to just roll over onto one side. And in your own time, making your way back to a comfortable cross-legged seat. And we'll close our practice this evening by just taking a moment to connect to the heart. Bringing the hands together, rubbing the palms to create just a little bit of warmth between the hands. And when you can feel that heat has built, bringing the palms to rest over the chest. Coming back to that intention or that goal that we set around self-care at the start of our practice together. Inviting it into your heart and planting it like a seed there, a seed of intention. And taking a few more breaths into that space, into the heart, into those words, your goal, your intention, your dedication. And in your own time, when you're ready, keep the eyes closed. Just lift the hands and bring the hands to rest over the eyes. Slowly start to blink the eyes open when you're ready, just letting a little bit of light come through between the fingers first. And then dropping the hands down. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me for our session this evening. I always run over. I thought I was doing really well and being on time. So we do have about 5 minutes left. If anyone would like to share, the idea of the Self-Care Club is that it's an open space to also discuss and share anything. I'm going to stop recording now, so nothing will be shared outside of this group.